From December 2025, from the law firm of Shihab Burke at the end of the year. The end of the year discussion topics is usually popular. Today we're going to talk about 2025 immigration law recap,
Yeah.
shifts, surprises, and conclusions, or whatever you want to call it. Um, uh, with you is attorney Sam Shihab with the law firm of Shihab Burke, and my partner Brian Burke. We're going to be talking about this exciting topic: what happened in 2025. That helps us to set up what will happen in 2026. Brian, you got a nice and exciting list here for us.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Yeah. So if we're going to talk about people who we know are in our audience and what kind of immigration news might answer them, we do a lot of employment immigration in our office, our bread and butter around here. And I'd say the number one story has been the H-1B $100,000 fee. The $100,000 H-1B fee extravaganza, as I sometimes call it. And let's talk about it. So what is it?
President Trump surprised us with a proclamation that says every H-1B in a file will come with a $100,000 fee to the government.
Yeah.
Starting in the visa lottery, the coming fiscal year visa lottery in April of 2026, for beginning of fiscal year October of 2026, which includes all new H-1B filed from
after
abroad,
September 21st, 2025.
And it's an entry fee to be paid at the time of the H-1B filing.
Yep.
And obviously put the whole corporate U.S. corporate world in a shock in how to handle it. 2 lawsuits now are out.
I think there's a third one. There is the Chamber of Commerce one, right?
Yes.
There is the one from all the state governments, and there's a third one who's escaping me. Or
states. For example, the state of Michigan filed a lawsuit.
Yeah. There's that one. Yeah. I thought there was a third one though. Maybe I'm crazy.
There's others in the making. We know that.
Yeah.
As well, and there's more will be coming. It'll be interesting to see what will happen. So the oral arguments were last Friday for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce case.
Yeah.
And was concluded. It was a busy day for me. It was on my calendar to listen to it. I did not listen to it. And that's one of the major 2025 surprises. We have, obviously, as we're talking about H-1B, Brian, there is also the visa lottery selection. I think it's called the modernization rule, I believe, of 2025, January 2025, that says we are going to change how we select H-1Bs in the lottery, putting emphasis on level 4 wages ahead of 3, ahead of 2, and ahead of 1. And reversing the luck. So that is going to be a major change. I had an interesting hour discussion with a good friend of mine who is a CEO of a company who's been quite successful in the last 20 decades and has been a client for all that time. And we were talking about, is it fair to charge 100,000, and is it fair to emphasize level 4 over level 3 and so forth? And he wasn't too shocked about the lateral, for sure. He thinks really that we're ready to move beyond level 1 because of the evolution of the AI. A lot of level 1 jobs really are now automated, but not everyone, obviously. We speak within the prism of IT, but there's a lot of other professions like nursing and so forth that are going to be impacted.
Well, when I think about, I am not a politician. I don't set policy. I don't get to make those decisions as to what the law is. Congress did that. And again, the way I go back, when those regulations came out, my first thing I said is, I don't know, does the law we have really support that? And as I read it, I don't think it does. And if the law doesn't support it, that means those regulations are subject to challenge. And I guess, I haven't been following that, but is there a lawsuit out there that's challenging that? Because I don't think any Anything on that front?
I don't. It's not ringing a bell that there's a lawsuit on that, Brian.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, number one, it has not been implemented, so usually there has to be damage.
yeah, that's true.
So
Standing, yeah.
yeah. So yeah. So I don't think we have not seen those, but yeah. I mean, I understand the legal side of it, but there's also the practical side,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
law is practical, and good practice is good law, right?
Mhm.
So they're related. So
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Down the list, still sticking to H-1B,
Okay.
we got the beneficiary-centric selection process that was made effective in 2024, but really was implemented in 2025. So we've found that change, which I think is a positive change.
Yeah.
If you can explain that briefly, Brian.
Yeah. So the policy for this year's H-1B lottery is that, no matter how many companies register you in the H-1B lottery, you don't get a better chance of being picked. One chomp of the bit per person, meaning 25 companies put your name in the H-1B lottery, you're going to get 25 lottery selections, but it doesn't increase your chances. And that was in sort of response to all the perceived sort of gaming the system by company XYZ and its company friend company ABC all get together and say, hey, we have a bunch of people that we want. Let's toss their names in together. We'll sort of arguably collude. Now that's something else that wasn't sort of clearly contrary to the law, but fundamentally bad policy. So they wrote policy that's being regulations being abused, and they wrote new regulations to correct that issue. And that is here. It's here to stay. And I gotta agree that's a better version of that for sure. I think it's sort of more egalitarian, better for everybody.
Yes. On my mind, I cannot remove the cancellation of the automatic EAD extension as being a true surprise and very impactful change on the employment, on the legal immigration sphere and the employment immigration sphere.
Yeah. And I think we have not really seen the true impact of that. For those who don't recall, and I hope you do, because I really hope there's nobody out there working pursuant to, a pending EAD extension at this point, but automatic EAD extensions aren't available for most categories anymore. USCIS had a lovely website explaining it. For most EAD categories, if you put out a timely extension before your EAD expires, you would get the benefit of an automatic extension while your EAD is pending, with a couple of major exceptions like H-4s requiring a 994 in order to be eligible. And pretty much the only category that's left of any relevance to the world of employment immigration is the STEM OPT automatic EAD extension that you get.
And the H-1B 240-day extension, that's also not in the regulation that they have.
Because it's not an EAD-driven case.
And the portability of the H-1B, I'm sorry, Brian, the portability of the H-1B remains.
Yeah.
That you can change employer and start working once you file the petition.
Sure.
So that's another thing that's still in the books.
Yeah. Whereas we can talk about some of these things going away, like maybe the H-1B $100,000 fee, or I can talk about maybe somebody challenging the reconfiguration of how the lottery goes. This one, we talked about this maybe live shortly after it happened. It's a lot of people took issue of the way they did it, an overnight regulation to prevent people from getting in their timely automatic extension. But the answer is, if anybody were to want to challenge this regulation, the answer is fine. They'd hold back the implementation for 90 days or however long it takes them to put out the notice and comment period. They can if the regulations allow these extensions, the regulations can be changed to get rid of those automatic extensions for sure.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Obviously, we cannot not talk about the elephant birthright citizenship challenge.
Now, Sam, I would describe all of these as elephanty, but
not every elephant is the same size as the other one.
Okay, all right. I think that
that one is a big one.
I think the automatic extension of EADs is going to be a huge thing. If the EAD processing slows down, it's going to impact the job market, especially also the H1. But okay, Sam, I'll cease dwelling on it. We've moved on to birthright citizenship.
Yeah. Well, we can take a moment to talk about these changes, Brian. So, I mean, H-1B $100,000. The selection process changed. There's a lot of things changing on the H-1B. There is a focus on because Congress, unfortunately, is not acting.
Yeah.
And it's something that Congress is really good at doing, which is doing nothing. And the president is having to take a step forward to address certain concerns out there about the H-1B program. Mostly, it's politically driven,
Yeah.
but maybe there are some arguments
Yeah.
in support of some of the concerns raised. We are entering a world of an AI-driven world where the expectation of employment fallout or unemployment increase, unprecedented unemployment increase in this country within the next decade.
Yeah.
That could be as soon as 3 or 4 years from now. It could be as soon as happening right now. Talking to my neighbor who is a physician, who's saying, yeah, he's a radiologist. He said, yep, we're doing AI. And I don't know how long my job is going to be. I'm serious. He said there's a shortage right now, but that shortage is going to be surplus in the next few years.
Sam,
so I'm worried. I'm worried about my future.
I'm sorry to your neighbor, but earlier this year I did an EB-1A case for a guy who was, one of his many sort of accomplishments was AI relating to medical imaging, like searching out cancer. He designed AI models to help doctors, achieve that. Yeah.
Another thing is logistics. Degrees are going to be completely irrelevant. It's a perfect AI to coordinate timing and nods and sequences in a very efficient way.
Yeah.
So that is going to be hard hit in many other areas. Coding is gone. I don't think anybody's going to be doing coding anymore. You can create a website out of probably.
Oh yeah, like web.
You can just basically verbalize what you want, and it can be created now or soon will be.
A lot of entry-level web development.
So all these entry level are gone.
Yeah.
And unemployment is going to be higher. There's a report that says that the gap between unemployed college graduates and unemployed high school graduates is narrowing, meaning that they're both having the same level of unemployment, meaning a college degree ain't worth a whole lot anymore in this country, which gives rise to an interest in going to college and all kind of social issues that affect employment. So I can see this H-1B program completely be changed in the next 5 years. And I think we're at the edge of it here with this $100,000 and the selection process. I think the H-1B program will never be like before.
I believe all these things, but until Congress does something about changing the laws in any way, that framework that we're dealing with is going to be there, and you can only change it so
President
far.
Trump disagrees with you,
Yeah.
but I can tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Moving on to birthright citizenship.
Yes, sir.
That's really the big one.
Okay, I will accept the premise that's the big one now, since we give it the other ones to do a little bit more. Yeah.
So, per the president's interpretation of our Constitution, H-1B, children of H-1Bs are not U.S. citizens if they're born in this country.
Yep.
Children of L-1As are not. Anybody who holds a non-immigrant visa, their child born in this country is not a U.S. citizen.
Yep.
As of early this year, I think.
Yeah, it's day one. It was output day one, January 20th, 2025. And it's never been implemented yet. It's been fought in the court. It made it all the way to the Supreme Court once. It kind of got kicked out of the Supreme Court on a more of a technical, legal, procedural thing as to what lower courts can do. And it is on its way back to the Supreme Court. As of earlier this month, it's basically on its way back to the Supreme Court, where we think
early next year
it's going to get to the substance of the case sometime next year.
Early next year, yeah. So I'm seeing other attorneys was reading into some of the arguments, and there's a lot of people who are saying, "Wow, this is maybe going to happen. Maybe it is going to change. The interpretation is going to change." It'll be very interesting to see. This is a 2025 surprise shock. A major shift in the direction for us here in the U.S. Obviously.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to give my counterpoint on believe me, I don't know how that change is really going to happen, because I've read the Constitution. I can make I think I can give them maybe that those who are here undocumented, their children would maybe they could really interpret it so those children are not subject to birth, are not eligible for birthright citizenship. But the way the Constitution reads, people who are born in this country and subject to its jurisdiction are, I find it would be a real stretch to not apply that to people here on non-immigrant visas, people who come here lawfully and submit themselves to the rules, the immigration rules of this country.
Well, the argument, obviously, they're saying it's this was the law was written to afford children of slaves U.S. citizenship, or who used to be slaves, and these people had no other place to go to, and that subject to jurisdiction was meant to allegiance. And the allegiance, meaning that these people were generationally here in the U.S., although we're not U.S. citizen, these people should become U.S. citizen on a historical basis, whereas people coming here on a non-immigrant visa do not have allegiance to the U.S.
Well, I will let.
I'm just giving you the argument on the other side.
I will let this drop, but I would say again, if you don't like the way the Constitution's written, change the Constitution. If you don't like the way the immigration laws are written, change the immigration laws.
The Supreme Court is going to, yes. Yeah. All right. So, what else, Brian, on your plate in terms of, I think the social media vetting, and the postponement and the slowing down of process and the travel ban. So there's a lot of host of things that are more focused on legal immigration.
Yeah,
that has happened.
Yeah,
right now you cannot get an appointment until middle of next year for an H-1B stamp.
Yeah, I will give you. There seems to be a lot of institutional things, but I'm going to tell you about an H-1B case I filed last week, Sam, for a guy who a company's never filed an H-1B before. The owner has a pending green card with the current priority date. He's probably going to get approved very soon, right? He owns a company, wanted to file an H-1B. I told him in this climate, they're still approving H-1Bs. They're still approving H-1Bs. And if you file an H-1B, well, darn it, I think it's going to be approved. Filed an H-1B with premium processing, got there on Monday, approved on this Saturday. Happy guy. They're still approving H-1Bs. Again, that program is still there, and they haven't changed that. But obviously, there's making some changes where they can get away with making changes at the moment. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So that's on the positive side from Brian, that there is still
always contrarian.
Yes. All right. Social media. You have to make your social media public now. We're going to look into it, and then the canceling all the council appointments, 2025 major. Now the travel ban.
Yeah.
1 out of 20 individuals, I think they're saying 1 out of 20 individuals on Earth cannot come to the U.S. today, per the travel ban, and also a commitment not to approve cases from these countries in the U.S. I'm not sure how legal that is, but obviously that's what they're doing. That's the marching order.
There's a real fun conversation to be had there. I mean, that's another. I mean, you're right, Sam. My list is too short. I hadn't even talked about the travel ban yet. Again, I think those things are really subject to challenge. To basically say nobody from a single country is eligible to come to this country. Just blanket restrictions. It's now again. There's a fun conversation about massive authority of foreign affairs and admission of people to the United States that's held in the executive branch. But to say nobody, that sounds like a lawsuit. Sounds like a lot of lawsuits.
Well, I mean, this administration, Brian, has not made it easy to challenge their orders, because they have not all the time, but frequently have had good thoughts and good legal work behind the way they've implemented things.
I would agree with that. They are more thoughtful this time around in doing things such that they are protecting themselves a little bit more from legal challenge.
Making it a little bit more difficult. Yeah. Fine. I mean, not every change is bad. Some changes could be positive. Some changes, nobody likes change. I mean, I can give you my opinion. I don't like many of them, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just I like things like before, but does the H-1B program can afford a reform? 100% it can, but the
Yeah.
correct reform, the proper reform.
Yeah.
Is this country going through a little bit more difficult time in terms of employment and the young people coming out of colleges? I think the signs all lead to that right now, which I think entry-level jobs probably should be reserved for U.S. workers because we're having problem employing these people.
Mm.
And then maybe we need to focus on more advanced people. So I understand that. Let's give some time for questions.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're seeing
Oh,
questions coming through.
there's
I know
gobs of them coming in
people
here.
listen sometime after.
Yeah, plenty of them live here. So let's get to some of them. I got I-45 approval notice and green card. Notice says EAD and work authorization validated now, which is okay. It says I should be returning the unexpired EAD on mentioned address. Is that what we need to do? Once you have that green card in your hands, it's a big old pain in the butt, but take the hit for a $1.25 in postage and get it back to them. Feel good. Know that you are in an enviable position. You are the envy of a whole lot of people out there who are still in that queue. And if the U.S. government asks you to do something, it's not really much effort. You don't need that EAD anymore. You have a green card.
And I think talk to Sant is a moment that we pause and we say they're approving cases. Cases are getting approved. Yeah. Things are getting done. For the most part, I think.
Yeah.
Within the scope of what you and I deal with, Brian, because we really don't deal with asylum cases. We deal with a lot of family cases and do a lot of employment, green cards, and national interest waiver, EB1s, investments, e-visas, and H-1Bs, etc. So those are going well.
Yeah, big
for
picture,
most of the world.
Big picture. I mean, we aren't having like massive problems in our office with massive denials or people being detained or things like that because we deal with the type of immigration that we do. Lawful immigration processes. They are looking for silver linings in the world right now. I think that I agree with you.
I mean, the majority of people outside the U.S. can come to the U.S. If you are a creative person, if you are highly educated, you're still a desirable commodity, and there are ways for you to come in. Although I think the H-1B $100,000 had to be resolved.
Yeah.
Let's take the next question.
Yeah. So let me see here. Hello, and thanks for your videos every week. Where should you paper file EB2 National Interest Waiver if you live in Kansas City, Missouri? Or do you go by the employer address and somebody lives in the Twin Cities area, essentially, I guess. I think that's what that's called, and determine where to paper file. Yeah. So in this context here, we probably can't best tell you where to,
So there's a lot of reasons we cannot say, and I'm gonna just list 2 or 3. Number one, I don't have it committed to memory. I gotta look it up. Yeah. Well, we're running a YouTube here. We're talking. I'm not gonna go look it up for you right now because we'll waste everybody's time. Yeah. Number 2, this YouTube will be live for some time on air, and people could later on watch it and get the wrong information because these addresses change all the time. Yeah. So we will skip that and move on to the next one.
Yeah, I think I would just say, it sounds like somebody's doing a national interest waiver by themselves. And I would just say, okay, I don't mean to plug immigration attorneys. I think it might be useful to somebody to just talk to an immigration attorney to pick their brain on something, because in terms of national interest waivers, I'd say, it's a high scrutiny time now.
It's the toughest time in a long time.
Yeah, and it might be worth your while to maybe if not retain an attorney to file it for you, just to sort of pick somebody's brain and talk about how to best put that case together. As a general rule of thumb, if you read the USCIS filing instructions, tend to be pretty clear. If you give them a thorough read right on the USCIS website, that's really the best information you can get on that. Sam, would you do the honors?
I'm a green card holder. I had a DUI arrest from 2013, which was set aside by court. Do you see any issue with my international travel? Okay, so no. The short answer, based on the facts alone, I do not see any issue with your international travel. Yeah. Now, if your DUI is post-green card, I am a lot more comfortable by saying that. If your DUI is pre-green card, I always want to know, I'm hoping that you've declared it and you've provided this information because they would like to know as part of the application.
Yeah.
What are the chances of that coming up, whether or not it's before or after? Assuming it's a simple DUI, single case, no issue, no accident, no injuries, chances are this thing being an issue is less than 1%.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
December 22nd, 2025. I just put a timestamp on it because things can change.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a pretty good answer. And it's never say never. Maybe a little bit of extra time at the border. Sometimes you hear things like that, but I don't really. That's not something that should render you inadmissible to the United States. Is the bottom line. Assuming a normal DUI. Here we are. My job ended 31st October. I'm in the grace period. I'm planning to switch from H-1B to B-1B2. If B-1B2 gets rejected, will I be out of status? What do I do? Any suggestions? Well, you're cutting it close on time. October, November, December. I'm not going to calculate the dates for you because that's something that I would not want to do aloud here. But you're very, very close to the end of the grace period. And you should be getting that filing together, immediately.
Yes, and if the B1, B2 is rejected under the fact you've given me and that you do not have a job, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
You are out of status and you have very little options.
Yeah.
If you're out of status, you're not legal in the U.S. And you have very little options. It's not like you have no option, but very little options.
Well, so it's kind of a double-edged sword, but you can file depending upon you can only do some B cases online, but you can file a B, change of status online with USCIS. Now, the downside is that USCIS online filing is a bit miserable, and you can't include dependents, that sort of thing. But if you file a B, change of status online, you can file it online, and you can get a receipt notice pretty much immediately from USCIS. Which, again, you're already really down to the wire, and I'd be really sweating this one. But yeah. So have some more questions from our website, immigrationquestions.us, which is the .us domain. It's our fun little website where you can go anytime during the week and throw Sam and I a question, and we will do our best to either queue them up and get them answered live here, or send you an email if it's something that we think you might use an answer for immediately.
And if you want privacy also, it's a nice way to not have a question asked on the media now that the social media has become a point of scrutiny. Maybe you want a privacy, and that will protect your privacy because we will not give your name.
Yeah. So here is a good one. I just was trying to get it up, here, and I can now. There it is. So a good question. Went to my country in May of 2025, and my petition got expired on 31st of August 2025. I do have 113 days of recapture time. I do not have active petition or stamped visa at present. Now, if I want to renew my expired petition, does a $100,000 fee apply to my case? And we were talking about this earlier. Where they're going to be applying that fee is there's a lot of fuzzy area there, but I think this is one where it would seem to apply
in today's interpretation.
Yeah. And so, that's the big challenge for you. Obviously, there are exceptions to, the $100,000 fee, which you can argue, but the average person, not in an occupation of the government feels exciting was not going to be able to do that, Let's see here. Another one we have here. Let me see. Here it is. Since my I-45 is pending less than 180 days and my company was acquired, does my successor interest company need to file I-140 amendment? Or can I just file I-45J after my I-45 is pending 180 days? There was a little bit more to this question, but I think I got the gist of it there, the most important stuff, right?
So what would you do, Brian, if you're advising? I would first look into successor and interest. I would want to know whether there is a successor and interest case or not, because sometimes there is no successor and interest, good successor and interest case. How the purchase occurred.
What do you mean by acquired, essentially?
Yeah. So that can be if there's no successor and interest, a clear successor and interest for as defined by immigration law, then you don't have that option.
Yeah.
If there is a clear one, I like to do one because it's nice to do.
Yeah.
Now, clearly after 180 days, you can just be silent. And after 180 days, you could file a supplement J alone but
Ooh.
not my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, because yeah, I know. I see. I missed the part here. 45 pending less than 180 days, which means you
Yeah.
got to really figure out the successor in interest, and
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
But
Uh,
he may not have a successor in interest. And if he
yeah.
doesn't have a successor in interest, he doesn't have an employer. Um,
Well, I guess
and
my
and
short answer. Go ahead.
and then there is that exposure period.
I guess my short answer is yes. You should. They should be filing a successor in interest I-140, presuming the company was acquired the right way. That would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we hit the hour. Thank you guys for listening to us. Now, whether or not we're going to do it on the 29th, Brian, I think I am in Columbus.
Funny, that's
29th.
where I'm going to be.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to be because I'm traveling to Michigan to visit family, and then on to California to go on family vacation. So I am bouncing somewhere. But if I can find a laptop and open it at 6 o'clock,
Well,
we will have one.
I plan on being here in the office on the 29th, and don't tell anybody I'm going to have a real mellow day here in the office. People usually forget we exist for that week between Christmas and New Year's. But there's a pretty darn good chance that yours truly
We'll
will
have one.
be
Yep,
will be
we will
available.
announce exactly.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys. Have a fantastic rest of that week, and Merry Christmas to everybody. Maybe we'll say Happy New Year, or if we don't talk, Happy New Year as well.